let's do some very minimal styling. For styling, we have a lot of options. The first option is to give every element a class, right? And then we can globally style that class. And the second option is to pass here style objects. So for example, style is, we'll create a styles object with named keys. So in here, we'll do styles.article. And we'll do the same for the title, the date, the author, and the body. Styles.title, styles.date, styles.author, styles.body. Now we can create our styles object. So styles object, I'm just going to have it here. This will be the JavaScript API for working with CSS styles. We'll have a style for article. Let's test all of that. And this is starting to look more decent. Of course, the point of all these styles is not really to make things look better, but to show you the possibilities of inline styles here using JavaScript, not using strings, which is very powerful. So we'll soon come back to this styles object and try to analyze what we just did. But for now, know that you can pass this style special object, and you can use JavaScript API to create any styles in here. Note how when I created the style object, I made the style object a global object here on this file. I did not put the style object inside the article component like that. This is actually important because having the style object inside the article component means that React is going to create a new styles object every time it renders the article component and every time it re-renders the article component. So this is actually not very good. Keep the style object on the top level here, or put it in its own module and import that module. Let's talk about one more example for the importance of where to place things. We have the date string here as a timestamp, so let's assume that we want to just display the date, right? So instead of this timestamp, I want to invoke a function, say for example, date display for this string, and you might be tempted to place the date display here. Display equal, say, a function. This function takes the date string. It can simply just invoke new date for that date string and call the toDate string on it, right? I think this should actually work. Let's test it. And it works. Perfect. However, this means every time React render and re-renders an article component, it will create a function here. That's wasteful. We should just make this function a global thing here. And the reason it's okay to make it global is because it does not depend on anything particular to an article component. It just takes a string and converts it into an actual date string. Here's the rule of thumb. If you're thinking about creating a function here, you probably don't need to. And if you're absolutely sure that you need a function here because, say, for example, this function is going to depend on the props of an article component, then you're probably better off with a class component instead. And we'll hopefully see an example of that.